recently, NBA Youngboy got arrested while on house arrest. You did a story on him. Was that like the same way you did the story with Vaughn? You wanted to see if he was capping or not?
Yeah, exactly. So when I did the Youngboy story, man, when I did the Von video, I was kind of thinking like, how am I going to follow this up as far as like capturing the same energy of the Von video, but go in a complete different direction with it. And it's the same thing. How many lyrics have we heard of Von talking about 7 bodies, this and that? Youngboy got songs where he's talking about 12 bodies, 13 bodies, right? So I was like, let me give the same treatment to Youngboy. And you know, in that video, it's a 6-hour video, right? So it's like, I damn near just went and the Youngboy story gets deep. I don't think there's a deeper story in hip hop as far as like the guy's so young, but all the stuff that he's been through. But the interesting thing about the Youngboy video, a lot of people didn't watch it to the end, but the title of that one is kind of in a similar vein to the Von one. The title of that one is Real Killer or Fake Gangster. Because that's been the conversation about Youngboy the whole time. Like, is he really killing shit? Are they really doing what they say, or is it all fake? And you know, the title, I'm trying to capture like that debate of what goes on around Youngboy. But if you watch that video to the end, the conclusion I kind of give is it's sort of the opposite of the VOD video. I basically conclude, I'm like, yo, you can't really connect a Youngboy to any of that stuff. You know, personally, that's what's going on around him. He's the product of his environment, and he's been through so much pain, and that reflects in his music. But it's almost like the Von video and the Youngboy video, they're like complete polar opposites.
Right. Were you a fan of Youngboy too?
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Youngboy for a long time. But you know what? Doing that video, I spent probably like 2-3 months just nothing but Youngboy. If I was riding anywhere, I was only listening to Youngboy. Just all the albums, all the tapes, I listened to everything. And I became a huge fan of Youngboy, and to the point where I put him as he's my #1 now.
I gotta salute you on the amount of time you put into your research. Like that's dope. And I guess the proof is in the pudding, because when you drop these videos, everybody knows that, okay, Trap is gonna get real in depth. He's gonna find these pieces that we never knew about. So could you enlighten me on what you found out about Youngboy?
Yeah, I mean, the Youngboy thing's interesting, right? Because he's got a bunch of lyrics about, it all starts with the lyrics, it all starts with the music, right? You'll listen to Youngboy's music, and bear in mind, he's got a lot of songs, right? So it's going to take us a lot of time to get through all of that stuff. But you're hearing references to all these different people that have had a big influence on him. You know, he talks about his grandmother, his grandma raised him, you know, the situation with his mother. He's got another woman, Monique, who's not his mother, it's OG3's mother, but he calls her his mother. So you're learning about all these people. You're learning about people who have passed away. You know, when he was, I think, 10 or 11, he had an older kid from the neighborhood that was showing him how to move called Lil Dave. He ends up getting killed, I believe, at a rally to stop violence. Lil Dave ends up getting killed, and Youngboy's only like 10, 11. His OG, the older kid he's hanging around with, is getting killed. This is the pain and the situations that he's going through. You know, he gets a bit older. You know, his manager, Big Dump, gets killed, and there's a whole bunch of murders back and forth in Baton Rouge. So it all starts with the music. But for me, I feel like the interesting stuff I found was just as far as like looking into all of these little micro stories, all of these supposed, like I say, 12, 13 bodies. I swear he put out a song the other day. He's talking about 15 bodies. It's just gets silly, but it's actually picking up those lyrics and being like, well, who are these people? Who are these little stories we hear about? And you know, we're hearing stories about people in his crew getting shot, his manager. You know, it's interesting. Like, there's so many Youngboy lyrics about, you know, he's got some Letter to Big Dump where he's talking about his manager and sort of losing him. But it's like, as time's gone on, things are going full circle. You've now got Lil Dump out here, who you've interviewed recently, who's the nephew of Big Dump, and it's almost like, you know, he's got a vlog where he's taking you to the spot where Big Dump was gunned down, and he's explaining the story, and he's saying, you know, he was right outside, you know, this was where it happened. And it's like, the more I looked into it, the more I'm just understanding the pain behind the music. And again, I think people get the wrong idea. It's like, that video is not about me trying to say Youngboy's a criminal, he did that, he did this, he did that. If you watch that to the end, I actually say, yo, Youngboy ain't really do none of that. They need to let him live. But we're still breaking down and understanding these stories of like, when he's got a song like Letter to Big Dump, you know, I'm trying to get to, well, who was Big Dump? What was the impact that this person had on Youngboy's life to the point where he lost him, and how much that's affected him? And even now, you got this situation with Youngboy, and unfortunately, he's got new charges with the prescription drugs. But it's almost like, I wanted to answer like, well, why is he so into drugs? Why has he got all this pain where he's fallen into having to do drugs? What's he been through? Who are these people he's lost? Like, how bad has it been out there for him? And like, for me, I really wanted to just try and truly understand this guy, because I feel like I would say Youngboy is probably the most misunderstood rapper out. I feel like most people...
In what way?
I feel like people think he's dumb. He's just a young, dumb kid who's just catching cases. He's an idiot with the guns, and he's got another case. He's so dumb. But it's like, I'm trying to get to the root of like, yo, like you were saying earlier, this kid's the product of his environment, growing up in Baton Rouge in some of the most treacherous streets you could imagine.
Right.
He's become a product of his environment through everything that he's been through. And it's like, I've tried to gain an understanding. Even shit like, people say with Youngboy, how I say misunderstood. People are like, oh, Youngboy, it's low quality music. He just fires out trash music and doesn't think about it. Like, no, this guy's been stuck on house arrest for years. He's got nothing to do but record and put his pain into the music.
Right.
And I'm saying, okay, why is he doing that? This is why he's doing that. Where's this pain that he's putting into the music coming from? These are the stories. And that was my goal with that video, to just try and give a complete picture of Youngboy. And I feel like if you don't understand, people that misunderstand Youngboy, if you got 6 hours spare and you go and watch that video, you're going to come out the back of that and you're going to truly understand why he is what he is and why he's in these situations. And I got a lot of sympathy for Youngboy, and I honestly feel like he's like, as much as people say he's the best, I feel like he's underrated and misunderstood. He's misunderstood as an artist.
For me, it's as a father, I kind of find it hard to justify all the bad decisions, but I do know a lot of it is systematic. It's like, you come from this, you went through this, you never got therapy, you never got any type of treatment for this shit. So it's spilling out in other ways. It's gonna find an outlet somehow. You know what I mean? And the thing with traumas is it's only gonna lead you to more traumas. So, you know, the Youngboy thing, I'm not a huge fan of his music, but I'm interested in that story.
I think a lot of people really hate on him, but it's almost just like, unfortunately with Youngboy, he's fired out so much music over his career. Sometimes it can be hard to find those songs that really connect with people. Like my guy Armani, yeah, he was saying how much he hates Youngboy. He's not trying to listen to any Youngboy songs.
Why?
Bro, he's just crying on the beat, bro. It's tired, bro. Like whining and that, bro. And then he just do the angry thing, just mad angry, like, oh, I want to kill everyone. Like, I don't know, but it's not for me, fam.
But it's like, I feel like I've tried to sit you down and make you understand, like, I'm playing these songs and I'm like, yo, but in this song, like, what he's going about in this one.
One or two melodic ones where he's actually kind of talking about his pain, that kind of respect, you get me? But in general, though, like, it's too much for me, bro. But he's made me like 1 and 2, I'll be honest.
You've made it like you're kind of understanding where he's coming from a bit more.
I get him a bit more. I get him a bit more.
But the story's so complicated, I feel like a lot of people, it's like, I ain't even trying to understand what this guy's all about.
He has some music that I adore, and then he has a lot of music that sounds to me like a guy who's been stuck in his house just howling into the mic for years now, like unable to have any like new experiences and shit. So I 100% relate to what you're saying, even though he also has other projects or other individual songs that I think are like some of the best songs I've heard in the modern era. But there is a lot of it that to me is just like, okay, like we need some new ideas. Like you can't just keep doing this over and over. I don't know.
They got to let him off house arrest so he can see the world and get some new ideas. Like he's been stuck in that house.
If they let him off house arrest, he's going to jail again. Like, you know, obviously, like he managed to find a way to get these crazy ass charges even while he's locked up. Like to me, I relate to him because he's the kind of dude who, if you give him an inch, he's going to take a mile. I guarantee that him taking prescription pills while on house arrest for this shit, like, started off slowly, and then kind of, like, slowly, as he got used to it, he progressed to the point where he's basically running this, like, fraud ring and calling pharmacies, pretending to be a doctor and shit like that, you know? And I can kind of relate to that because I'm the type of person who I consider myself incredibly lucky to have gotten into, like, legal careers because I just always felt like I was the person who would find, like, a little hole in the system where I could make money, and I would just keep pushing it. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I feel like Youngboy is the most extreme version of that, you know?
Well,
he's got a lot of growing up to do.
Circumstantial. A guy that was selling to him probably didn't want to do it no more. He's probably taking too much. Now he started making desperate moves, and now here he is.
But he also posted this photo with like a shitload of prescription pills all like encircling his head to his like 10 million followers or whatever it is. And like that was like a big moment where I think they started like investigating him, and like they even said that they did like a wellness check. The authorities asked him to stop taking drugs, and he basically just said no, which is kind of hard.
You got all this money. It's a whole world that you could see, but you're on house arrest for like 7 years, right?
He's trapped in the crib in Utah
since 2020. You know what the crazy thing is? A lot of people forget. Like Youngboy, I believe Youngboy caught that case and went to jail. Like I think the month or two before King Von died. So all of that stuff that went down with Von and how Youngboy's name's all mixed in with it, he was like just in jail on some other shit when that was all going on, like out the mix, which is
Right.
crazy. But again, it's like, I don't know, the timeline with Youngboy is crazy, but I feel like it's a cry for help. He starts posting these pictures with these pills. This guy is a guy that's going through some shit, and he's probably got no one really that's in his life that's really able to even give him the help that he needs. And it's a cry for help, bro. He's probably gets to the point where he's so done with being on house arrest, he's just like, send me back to jail. I don't
He's
know.
definitely.
But it's a different kind of balance because when you have that much money, you take care of a lot of people. There are not many people that's gonna say no. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know? And 9 times out of 10, as soon as somebody does do that, they're out the picture. They're not being supported no more. They can't come around.
It's true.
So it's tough. Because when you grow up like that and you have to rely on yourself and you reach this level of success, who is the voice that you listen to?
His new white Mormon family, right? You see how you got like adopted by this like Mormon family?
No.
His neighbors be knocking on the door trying to convert him to, what is it, the Mormonism, right?
Yeah, they probably see him tripping over there.
They probably want a celebrity to help push their fucking crazy religion.
I feel like Youngboy's neighbors must just be, just when he moved into town, to Utah, to this mountain, he's renaming the property Gravedigger Mountain. They're like, God,
Right.
damn, turn this into Gravedigger Mountain. But I don't know, man. It's just the idea that, I mean, we were with AK last night. Academics went up to Gravedigger Mountain to meet with Youngboy, and he was just telling us, he was like, bro, going up there was like damn near. What was he describing? It was like.
He said it was like the
Fort Knox
most security he's ever seen anywhere for anything, and it's just a guy in a house.
He was saying it felt so secure that like the cops ain't getting in type shit.
Yeah. Actually, that he wants to see the footage of the cops actually pulling up to get him because he has a hard time imagining the security even like letting the cops in because it was that crazy. Intense. Yeah.
Saying it's like a private militia or some shit.
Shit. I'm
Ready
sure they
to seize
could
the government.
make some accommodations, right?
Yeah.
Now, you did a story on Young Thug and his connection to Wayne's tour bus getting shot up. This is before
That's a way back.
he caught the RICO charge. Now, when you see these things being mentioned in his charges, are you like, my bad?
It's Hoffa, trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.